You are along for the ride with Mad Dog and Cole, the Sandmaster Pharaoh. Where are we going today?
Where are we going today? We're going along for the ride.
Hey, man.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait.
Man, I am telling you what a week. I realized after I got it, should enter. One, thank you, Kicker Performance Audio, Bomber Eyewear. We'll get more there later. Uh, Special thank you to Brad's Cartoons. I'll get into that. Eugene and Springfield. Um, and the whole Dunefest crew. Where are we? We are in uh where am I? I'm in
Uh,
Bridgeport, Oregon, in a Best Western tonight. This has been my home for the last week. We are at Dunefest 2022. We just wrapped it this afternoon. Um, I realized after we got started earlier this week that this is my 14th consecutive Doomfest.
that's amazing. That's quite the record. I wonder how many people either have you beat or have you tied for 14 straight. There's got to be some locals that are right in
Oh,
that
yeah.
realm. But
There's some locals and some vendors, but a lot of vendors uh, or vendor reps when they've changed jobs, or whatever, they've gone. Maybe they missed a year or whatever. So yeah, no, dude, it's like I can't believe it. I mean, I'm so stoked that this was such a great event, and this year, thank God, we had great weather. Um, we had so many events going on, dude. You've been out here, this is like where we really got to know each other. I mean, I met you in Glamis, as you had to remind me in episode one. Um, Thanks.
you're welcome. That's my producer job.
But no, like, this is where you and I really got to know each other. And so I have so many fond memories of this event. And man, I remember one year when I was with Muzzies. Um, my daughter Kendall, one of my triplets, was getting married, and I was committed to go to the Polaris Dealer Show. And Doomfest started the day the Polaris Dealer Show setup day started, the day the Polaris Dealer Show ended. Um, and Kendall got married the day before I had to fly out to Vegas for the show. So literally, we had like, the what do they call that? The dinner when you have the
Oh,
practice
the rehearsal dinner.
rehearsal dinner. Yeah, we had that. Next day, of course, had all the family there, so it was late night. Next day, the wedding, activities all day. Went home. I think I slept like 3 hours. Jumped on a flight to Vegas. Uh, got to my hotel, changed, went to the dealer show opening, did 2 days of the dealer show, uh, jumped on a flight at like out of Vegas at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I've been up with some well known off roaders till the wee hours. I finally drove the van. Uh, Being the designated driver and a sober person, I did the responsible thing and drove the van to the hotel and made them all get out and went to bed. Um,
That's awesome. You're the
yeah,
team dad that night.
yeah. Unfortunately, I think, but I was still there for the party, man. So it was good. We, yeah, that trip, I think I got 2 hours of sleep, flew back to Redmond Regional. Secretary from Muzzies picked me up, or my parts manager drove me back. They already had the legendary Muzzy van loaded. I threw a few more things in the trailer, left the shop, stopped by my house. I pre-packed another suitcase, dropped one suitcase off, grabbed the other one, drove the other 4.5 hours out to Reedsport, and then we set up booth till like 8 o'clock at night. And then I think I hit the sand at like 7 the next morning for a photo shoot, and then we started opening at 8, opened at 9. That day I installed probably 3 systems, maybe 4, and then went to dinner with a whole bunch of people. I got back to the room that night, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And I still had all the books to do from the day. So
Lovely.
lots of great memories, you know.
Yeah, not to make this about myself, but really quick, just like you said, we really solidified our friendship at Dunefest.
For
So
sure.
I'd gotten there the night before, and so I'm getting ready to go set up for what we're doing that day. And I had the liberty of being able to run around and do all sorts of different facilitate throughout the day. Well, all of a sudden, my boss at the time starts laughing. I go, "What's up?" "Well, I guess Lauren got the van stuck. Let's go check this out." And so that's when I saw the glorious green, white, and purple Muzzy's van. I don't want to say almost to the axle, but it was pretty damn deep buried in that sand.
Oh no, it was the axle. It was
Okay, well, honestly, that's what I remembered, but I didn't want to throw you under the bus to our listeners.
Oh
so.
no. I had already put the call in when I was on my way into town. I was probably 10 minutes out, and I called the guy who does operations out here, Clark. Awesome dude. I said, "Hey, I'm fixing to be there about 10 minutes. So he goes, so you'll be stuck in 12 minutes. I said, yep, normal entrance. He goes, all right, I'll start a cat that way.
That's awesome. That's huge.
So yeah, it's funny because I was talking to one of the guys about that today because somebody rolled out of the sand through the vendor area in their F-350 pulling their trailer, and he still had it in 4-wheel drive on the pavement and made a hard left and blew the left front out.
Hell yeah.
I never aired down, man. I just
I do.
knew I was going to get stuck, so I just called ahead.
Yeah, that's actually even smarter than being ready for the sand is being ready for the stuck.
Yeah, that van was almost as bad as my current dually.
Oh, I bet. The thing was a steel tank.
Yeah. I am unfortunately one of the tags that I carry at Doomfest is the guy that gets stuck at least once every year. And last year I didn't, barely. I mean, I got it out. I was able to get it out. This year, when I backed the trailer in, they're nice enough to let me store the trailer over at main stage parking. And when I backed the trailer in, I got off their compressed hog fuel and got stuck in like 2 inches of loose hog fuel and sand in the dually.
I was going to say, did you consider getting it stuck last year just for old time's sake so you didn't miss one of the years of 14 of getting stuck?
Well, you know, it kind of felt good to not get stuck.
Honestly, it's a nice badge of honor to
Yeah.
be able to be self-sufficient on the sand and be able to move at your own free will. So I don't blame you for not wanting to get it stuck.
It was crazy, but yeah, man. So we got here Monday, and on the let me see. Yeah, we got here Monday, and started helping get Brad's cartoon set up and get the branding up for Kicker and everything. Went great. And last year we were trying to do a lot of that on Tuesday, and they were already selling and installing.
Wow.
Yeah, so those poor guys, the installers are tripping over everybody and banners, and so we kind of put this plan together this year to like, let's get all the bones done Monday, which worked out great because I think they did 3 full systems on Tuesday, which the event opens Wednesday.
Yeah, so go figure. So Event opens Wednesday. You set up. I thought you were gonna say that you had people even coming by on Monday because they see you setting up and would want some systems. But no, it sounds like that worked out at least.
That worked out good. I had a lot of people coming by Monday that were already there or that came in Monday just to say hi, you know. I know a couple of people out here, and so it was like, you know, it was really hard to get anything done because everybody kept stopping to say hi.
I mean, that's going to be anywhere, right? You know, obviously you're a legend there in Reedsport and Coos Bay, but when you're setting up, and I'm sure we're going to go through this many times in the show, it's the traveling circus travels together. So when you see each other, it's when you're everybody's collectively trying to set up. That's when you can rekindle, but also there's work to be done.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, it was, dude, crazy good event. The coordinator that took over a few years ago, Jody Morrow, dude, just loves the sand, loves the event. I believe they have record attendance this year. They have record attendance last year and then beat it this year. Yeah, just insane, bro. It was awesome, so incredible. Even the locals were telling me, you know, they were going up to the lighthouse to take pictures of all the camping and the sand and the events, and which the locals have not always been super receptive here. So, you know, that's huge, huge progress, and it's awesome. I love to see it because I I really love this event. I have a this is like used to be my home turf, kind of, so to speak. So, you know, it's awesome to see the event grow and flourish, and more people jump on board and go, wow, this is awesome, you know.
Yeah, now I think that a lot of it had to do with 2 years ago. We had so many things worldwide taken away so suddenly that I think in the back of your mind, unfortunately, you realize that these things can go away. So
Yeah.
that's why I would personally think from the outside, the last 2 years have just been so successful. That along with the new management and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. People want to live. People want to have fun. You know, they want to do what they want to do, and it's showing for sure. Man, what a crazy event. I mean, you figure there's like probably close to 30,000 people out in the sand. Obviously, you being here, you know, you don't ride during the day. Um, if you're going to ride, you do it at 7 o'clock in the morning when everybody's still in their campers and hungover. But yeah, dude, it's great. And then of course the, you know, kicker has a big part in this event as official audio. They supply a PA system for the sand drags. And then they're actually present the freestyle show. And so we had kicker. Three of the four athletes were kicker athletes, and it's the uh, you know, kicker. It's Jet City FMX freestyle presented by Kicker at Dunefest 2022. Um, and that's always such a rush because I get to work with the legend Tim Shellman, you know, TPQ and his socks. And Maria, I love Maria to death. I don't know how she manages him. Oh my God. She keeps him on track and it, well, sort of. But, you know, I get to work the stage. It's one of the few times that I get to get behind the mic.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
yeah, I co-announce a freestyle show, and I go in, and you know, one of the things I do is get with Clark and we lay out where, because he'll pre-cut the pad and pre-pack a pad for them. Literally, they're jumping true 75, and the stage is 60 feet wide. So the bag is set up at one end of the stage, and the takeoff is set up at the other end of the stage. And they're only about 20 feet off the front of the stage.
That's so wild. That's so cool, though. Makes for
Dude,
such good
it,
photos and video.
yeah, yeah. I sent you a couple of Instagram videos. Did
Oh,
you
I
see
was watching.
the
And the
concert?
pyrotechnics.
Yeah, so they did it last night. I didn't go out last night because I had some other commitments. Um, and really, who wants to listen to an announcer over a classic rock cover band, right? I'd
Yeah, fair
rather
enough.
I'd
Yeah.
rather listen to the band and watch freestyle. So at any rate, they unfortunately it was supposed to do it Friday and Saturday. Friday they got blowed out and fogged out at the same time. It was just gnarly. Friday morning, we did a show at 10. Totally awesome. Totally awesome. Great show. Um, for me on a motorcycle, I don't know where your wind limits are, but they were jumping in consistent six with gusts to 10 off their tail, which, adds a whole new realm to freestyle, man. I mean, these guys, Robert Haslam, Cody Elkins, Haslam's been a kicker athlete, I think 4 years, 5 years. And there's a funny story about Haslam, I'll tell you in a second. Elkins has been a freestyle athlete for 20, or a kicker athlete for 20 years and one of the OGs of quad freestyle. And Cody, as a matter of fact, everybody in the world has seen the video of the guy backflipping a motorcycle over top of a biplane, flying underneath. And that was Cody in China. Um, yeah, like let's jump over a moving airplane.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's not worry about lift and densities and all that stuff that
yeah,
change.
yeah. There's so many factors. People look at it and go, "Oh, wow, that's so cool." Yeah, imagine just the turbulence from the prop, let alone the turbulence from the wingtips and the tail. Like I don't even know how he does it. You know,
Yeah, that's for the I don't want to say the braver, but the bolder than ourselves in that
right?
realm.
Correct. And he's 40 years old, man.
I'd say that's might even be the most impressive part.
Right? Dude's in great shape. I'm jealous. I want to get in his shape. Um, yeah. So, and then we had uh, Cody McDonough, Cody Mack, we call him, Pacific Northwest guy. He's been hitting all the monster jams and whole bunch of stuff. Kind of a guy I think Haslam kind of brought into the fold a few years ago. Um, and then we had a new kid, Billy Wilson, Billy Backside Wilson. Um, and so Billy Robert has been training under his wing for about 18 months. And Billy had never jumped in the sand. Cody Mack jumped last year. He was green last year. So he knew what to expect this year. He was dialed, right? He did a great job. And Cody Elkins has jumped out here 3 years, and I think Robert's jumped out here like 5 years. So those guys are all dialed, and I am not gonna lie, Billy Wilson shook me up a little bit in the first practice.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just trying to get his range and a little bit of wind, and the turf leading up to the ramp had a little bit of coastal moisture in it, and I think he didn't think he needed that much pop or that much throttle, and bounced it. And man, he was stretching to get that back tire onto the bag.
Lovely.
And apparently that's where Billy Backside Wilson came from, is he's
Backsiding everything.
side of the airbag more than once. So I'm like, I told him, I'm like, dude, don't ever fucking do that to me again. He looked scared. So, I'm like, okay, it worked. No, but they put on a great show, and they're so much fun, and they're just good dudes. It's like just good. Like Robert and Robert and Cody Elkins are family guys. Well, so is Cody Mack now. He just had a baby, so that was really rad. I got in a little ride when I was I think it was Wednesday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday morning when I had to run some stuff back and forth from the vendor area to the main stage, and I got a little short ride in. There was nobody around, just kind of got out and sanded myself up, a little bit.
That's
And
awesome. Find your zen and go explore around, and that's
yeah,
that's a peaceful moment out there in the dunes.
dude, it really helps you center, especially when you've got so much going on. I've got freestyle. I got to worry about those guys because most of those guys are like family to me, and I have found taking pictures of them during the show or announcing is way less stressful for me, just a distraction, I think, than actually watching the show.
Yeah, you got your mind focused on something else to kind of take you out of it a little bit while still
Yeah.
actively participating in it.
Right. Like when you're announcing, I'm on stage, these guys are jumping. Literally, I have to stand right out at the end of the stage because I'll lose them over the cover on the stage. I'll lose them at times doing tricks. They were going at least 55 high on some of the backflip stuff. They're just huge. Yesterday they were on fire. Friday they were like getting their feel, and it was a really good show. But then when they got skunked Friday night, they came out Saturday, both guns blazing. I mean, like Elkins threw a backflip on his second test hit. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
so he was feeling comfortable and ready to roll.
yeah, I'm like, oh, this is a good one. You'll appreciate this. So in the Friday morning show, Elkins is riding another friend of ours bike because Elkins is based out of Stillwater, Oklahoma, where Kicker is. Um, so he's riding a bike that a friend of ours keeps up in the PN and KX, all right, KX 450F or KXF 450 or whatever, the Cali 450, and he has bolt-on grips. LaRue has bolt-on grips. The right grip wasn't tight. Cody did a kiss of death and monster kiss of death, which was awesome, right? And then he did a couple more tricks, and then he goes to throw another kiss of death. And when he starts to pull the bike back, because you use the bars and the grips to rotate the bike back under you. If people don't know what a kiss of death is, it's where you go up roughly 55 feet in the air over a 75-foot gap, and you basically do a handstand on the handlebars while the bike's facing down, and you, in essence, kiss the front fender. You're supposed to like bump your helmet or kiss the front fender of the bike. Um, Cody ended up talk about adjustments. The grip rotated on him, and he actually pulled the bike up, shoulder slammed the front fender with his right shoulder to get the bike to rotate back underneath him. Actually left creases, bent the fender so bad it left crease, stopped the front tire from rotating. It was
Wow.
like,
Okay, yeah, he made that count. Okay.
yeah, and here I am on the stage. I'm like, oh, there's Elkin. Whoa, what a double tap kiss of death. I don't know that I've ever seen that. And he pulls,
Totally on purpose, folks.
yeah, he pulls right up in the stage right in front of me and gets off the bike. And he's like, this grip is loose. I'm like, he goes, I'm done.
Yeah, he might be done riding somebody else's bike forever, to be honest.
But what does it take to do an adjustment like that in the air? Wow, it's because it's been riding 30 years, or whatever, 25 years freestyle.
50% skill, 50% survival.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Maybe 1% luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's stellar event. great time. The Brad's cartoons guys are just super solid dudes, and their installers busted butt all day, every day. You know, and it was a good time, man, just hanging out with everybody. And it was worth the hassle getting up here, which we said, actually, we should have reminded people right off the get go. We should cut and insert this right in the very get go, before we started, that I know you were counting on episode 4 being the Coal 9 Yards part 2, but we're going to do a Dunefest recap, and thinking episode 5 will be the Coal 9 Yards part 2. We're going to save that. We're going to keep you teasing, because I've had several people go, I want to hear the rest of Cole's story. So
They're like, I want to get to the important stuff that actually has some substance. But yeah, in all fairness, and I totally agree. And for those a little behind the scenes, we actually recorded that episode while you were on the road for this trip. So now we're kind of all mixing the order around. But we figured that while it's still so fresh in your mind, and while you're still actually involved in it as we speak, that this would be a great time to actually talk about the event, as opposed to wait until you get home, because I'm sure there's going to be more stories from the road there. But Dunefest alone is worth its own episode.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that, because I'd have just bumbled my way through the mess like I was doing. So, yeah, no, I think this was prime time to hit it. And man, we had a good time. We had so much fun. And, we did promise in E3 that we would cover what happened on the trip. So I live in Havasu, as we all know now. Hopefully, at least all 3 of you that listen, my daughters and my wife. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I rolled out of Havasu real early, up through Vegas. Got up north of Vegas, right at the, how do you say it, Amargosa?
Oh, I actually have no idea. So probably.
It's up Highway 95. It's past the Creech Air Force Base, where they do all the drone stuff. It's past Mercury, Nevada Nuclear Test Site, and you kind of drop into the Amargosa Valley, or Amargosa, I think. Anyway, there's like the Area 51 Alien Center, which actually has the alien cat house attached to it. Yes, folks, that kind of cat house.
It's real.
I don't know where they find the aliens, but I'm not asking questions.
Sure, you're paying a premium price.
Yeah, well, yeah. Think about it. Importing aliens from space. Yeah. Hoping they cut a sweet deal with Elon.
Maybe that's what the SpaceX program is actually entitled to. But
yeah, well, maybe he's a little more forgiving since he just saved like 51 billion.
Yeah, he's got a little more to spend in his pocket now.
Dude's brutal. Anyway, he's my hero. No, not really, but he's insanely ingenious.
I feel lucky to be alive while he's alive doing his thing. Put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, you're in the middle of nowhere, Area 51, Alien Center, truck stop. There's a rest area, and there's like Cowboys Corner truck stop or something. And they're not real truck stops. They're like gas stations with big parking lots and stores. Pulled in there, coming up, and I thought earlier, like 10 miles earlier, I saw something in my right peripheral in my mirror, and enough to make me move the mirror down and watch the right tires on the trailer. Everything looked fine. I'm rolling the speed limit, which I believe is 77 out there, exactly, on cruise. But I had to, I'd have my like 6 cups of coffee or 8. And I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. They got fuel here. I was going to go another 45 miles. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stop now. And it's like, I'm not in a huge rush. I only have to go whatever it was, 400 miles today or 450 miles today. So, you know, I don't need to crush it, right? Pull in, start the fuel nozzle, start walking around the truck and trailer to inspect it, and the right rear wheel on the trailer, the KMC plastic hubcap on the custom KMC wheel is gone. Obviously melted off, judging by the amount of plastic bits that are stuck to the wheel. And all I can see is the freaking spindle nut and what was left of the washer. Everything is like rust colored because it been so. And I'm like, oh, I have a major problem. I went back there, it's so hot you couldn't touch the wheel.
Probably smell it before you even had to touch it.
No, I smelled the burning flesh when I touched it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I finished fueling, did my business, pulled over into where all the truck parking is and jacked it up. And I'm like, I lost a wheel bearing. Well, I lost both wheel bearings actually. Um, so yeah. So thankfully, through a friend, couple of friends that are super solid guys, Kuskazanitsky being one of them, and Ryan Few of Octane, are like, hey, Ryan Lewis, get a hold of Ryan Lewis. He knows people. Ryan Lewis is manager, I think, at Full Wheel Parts Vegas. Well, he referred me to a guy that does mobile trailer repair. So we had to have a mobile mechanic come out and cut what was left of the races off the spindle. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Polish the spindles, new bearings, new hub. Guy was awesome though. His name was Aaron. I think it's called Busted Knuckle Trailer Repair, mobile trailer or something. In Las Vegas, if you break down and you're in a world of shit, they can help you. I will tell you, you'll pay for it. But that being said, thank God they were available. So I drove basically 4 hours, spent 7 hours on the side of the road, and then drove the other 4 hours, got into Hawthorne after dark. I got in at like 8:58, and the local pizza place that I absolutely love, they have these awesome pizza bread sandwiches. It's like half a loaf of Italian bread made up like a pizza and then crushed into a sandwich and baked.
Oh, that's badass.
Dude, so good. They close at 9, and I'm not the guy to show up at 8:59 and ask them, I know
No,
you
even 8:30, you would have probably been.
8:30, I probably would have done it. But anyway, so I think I ate a turkey and Swiss pita from the gas station. And yeah, anyway, and then I rolled on in to Bend the next day up through Reno and all that, into Bend. And then we recorded in Bend. I spent a couple days there with my parents. Glad to say my mom's doing good. Hallelujah.
Fantastic.
You know, everything could always be better, but she's doing really, really good. So I'm really thank God for that. Got to see my grandkids and whatnot, trying to maximize the road trip. So I'm had coffee with them 3 mornings in a row. And then it was like, okay, well, time for Papa Wheelie to go to work. So got out here and yeah, just a super rad week. I mean, you can probably hear how jacked up I am. I had to see my buddy Thomas Jackson.
Who's a
Such
listener? Shout out Thomas Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. Voltric, I think that's the name of his company now, Voltric. Yeah, so many people. I mean, I can't even begin to name them all or who they're with. It's just crazy. And it's kind of like, as you get up there, it's kind of like being a
Oh, did you see that?
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to get the YouTube channel going
Yeah,
because this stuff
I
is
was
going
trying
to
to
be
hide a
great.
yawn so hard.
Just yawn, bro. If I'm boring you, just give me the like,
No, you're not boring me. It's just been a long day. Not as long as your day,
oh
but I'm
no,
not as tough as you.
today hasn't been that bad, really. It's been this probably out of all the days at Dunefest, this is probably one of the easier ones. I mean, I was wrapped by like 2 o'clock today, so you
Yeah,
know,
so that's a
seven.
quarter day for you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, about that. 7 a.m. out and wrap it up. So yeah, man, just what a great event. And they had so much going on. They had a pit bike track, they had a Huck
I
Fest.
saw that. That was cool. I saw that they were blading for a pit bike track. And
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
get to see the finished product, but I'm like, dang, dude, if you go out there with 10, 12-inch wheels and 65 cc a Fury or a 110 four-stroke, I mean, you're in for a good time.
Oh yeah, I guess it was really well received. And apparently last night they set up. Apparently last night they set up in the area of the pit bike track, pit bike Huck Fest.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and they ran it after the concert, um, which had to be midnight roughly. So I'm sure everybody was sober. uh, yeah. Um, so I haven't heard the results of any of that. Um, but it so many cool things. They end up having a quad run 303 one shoot, I can't remember. Well 303, well over 100 mile an hour pass down the drags. I think it was a Hayabusa, turbo Hayabusa powered quad.
That's exciting. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, like 120 miles an hour or something in 300 feet on sand. So, yeah, it was just, dude, so much fun being out here.
Yeah, no, I haven't probably been since 2015 or 16 around that area. So seeing all the social media stuff, I was pretty blown away because I've even told my writing friends that I want to take them up there some year just because it sounds so cliche, but you don't understand it until you see it. And growing up in Southern California, the fact that you can ride on a beach is just an event in itself besides Pismo, right? But just the fact that you can go out there and do this and there's pine trees. I mean, for us, we're like, what the hell is a pine tree?
Right, right. Yeah,
But yeah, just seeing that they had the mini bike course, the how well you guys had that stage built for the freestyle, that was totally different than what I had seen previously. I don't know if they still do the Grand Prix. I remember being very intrigued by that and wanting to participate in that. But something new that I saw, and it might not even be the first year they've done it, is that they actually did a Huck Fest this
yes.
year.
Yeah, no, they did it last year also. Uh,
Okay.
but that's new. That's some of the new exciting stuff that Jody's bringing in. And yeah, man, they did a bike and ATV one day, and then did UTV the next day. So side by side the next day. Um, and actually, one of the installers from Brad's was going to do the bike long jump. He was signed up to do it, and he went out and test hit it the day before, and he's like, "It's the landing's too flat."
Yeah.
He was like, I can't do it. So, and he's been riding in the sand since he was like 5 years old. So,
Yeah. So he lived to fight another day, and
yeah,
he knew when to call it. And it's, to be honest, to build a jump correctly would be different for a motocross bike, which would be different from a quad, which is UTV. And I'm not the promoter. I'm not. I want no part of that. And you're dealing with what you got. But yeah, to want to do a long jump on a bike on a flat landing like that is, yeah, it's an option.
yeah, yeah, it's an option I wouldn't take. The other really rad thing we had the in the side by side industry, we had the unicorn. Guess what? It does exist. So, yeah, Speed UTV had one of their pre-production cars out there, and I can tell you, I actually saw it drive. I saw it drive in the sand.
Wow.
I heard it. I sat in it. Really super blessed, I don't really know Robbie that well, but I've known Todd Romano for years and years and years. I worked with Todd Romano when and starting when I was with Muzzies. I think I started working with Todd in like 2012, when he was getting ready to do the Arctic Cat score side by side team with the Wildcats.
That makes sense. I was going to ask what the correlation was between the two companies. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so we did all their engines and performance testing and stuff like that for their score of 250, 500, 1000 race cars. So, and they almost within 18 miles of winning the 500 first try with that car. And nothing to do with the motor. They broke a connection at the fuel rail and the car caught on fire.
Yeah, lovely.
Not at the fuel line, sorry, my fuel line. And yeah, and they had like easily, I think they had a 3 hour and 37 minute lead or something like that at the time.
I mean, just had to cruise it. They could have taken extra pits if they wanted to. They could have done a
Yeah,
driver swap for fun. What I mean, all the time
yeah,
in the world. So
yeah. So close, but that's racing. That's desert racing, as you well know. You cover so much desert racing stuff, especially now. By the way, desert racers, uh, check and find out. Go to Instagram and look up at the Premix Podcast, um, and check Mr. Farrell's endeavors in photography. And really, he's good at a lot of different classes, but I feel like I see about 3 to 1 class 11 pictures.
well,
So
to
I
be
think they're
fair,
close.
and well, first of all, thank you for the very nice shout out.
Uh,
It's incredible, and I don't want to overhype him, but I think that Blake Wilkie, most of you people know him as Shreddy. Blake Wilkie has really brought that class back to life.
yep.
He's done step by step videos of how he built his car that they call the Slug Shark, and the fact that he's like, look, I know that I know what I'm doing, but I'll talk to you on the phone. I'll walk you through the process. Um, Long story short, he's got that class revitalized, and so the point of that story is that there are so many cars to choose from when I'm out there filming. Even at the Glen Helen race a couple weeks ago, they probably the second biggest class after 1600 buggies,
Wow.
which
Yeah.
10 years ago there might have been one or two. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. And you're absolutely correct. And props to him for doing that. Every time I see Wilkie, he's like, when are we going to build you a class 11? When are you going to get in a class 11? I'm like, dude, have you seen me? I, I'm not sure that I could make, 250 miles in a class 10, let alone a class 11, man. Couldn't
I'm in
do
the
it.
same boat. I'm not willing to ruin somebody else's race because my body falls apart in the
Right.
right seat. Yep.
You know what? Maybe we should team up in a class 11.
Yeah, we'll take smoke breaks. We'll hang out. I'll take photos
Yeah,
of plants. We're like, oh, we're sore. What time's the checkpoint close? All right, let's get
we
going.
got it. We got it.
Let's have a white
So,
monster. We'll get back out there.
I know you and you know me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hydration pack, like hydration pack full of coffee, hydration pack full of sugar-free Red Bull or Monster Ultra, or, you know, whatever company wants a part of it. Um, Maybe some water, a couple of
Maybe
bars,
we could
and
make it.
we'll do it. When we do a driver swap, we'll just change seats.
Yeah.
We'll
I might
do
need
it.
a booster seat, but
We'll do an insert like they do in Indy cars for that little tiny guy, the little tiny American guy,
yeah.
Will something. Is he American? Willpower?
No, he's New Zealander, I think. I think he's a Kiwi.
I'm thinking of. He was testing cars with someone, and they built him this little booster seat insert that went in the seat. I was like, "That's a good idea, actually." I
Yeah,
think they
hey.
were testing GT cars, so
Gotcha. Okay.
so
We'll think of it after we stop recording. That's how it works.
yeah, yeah. I can't remember who it was now, but I thought it was funny because his co-driver, it's like it wasn't like he had Michael Waltrip as his co-driver or something, but there was like, 6 inches of height difference and the body was 4 inches wider and yeah, funny stuff. So wow, that was quite the sidetrack. But yeah, anyways, Cole is really been nailing it on the photography, dude. I really love to see the stuff you're doing. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
thanks. I definitely have a lot to learn, but I mean, I took a lot of photo classes in high school, and even my wife took photo in high school and college, and there's a lot of stuff that she can show me on the camera. So it's just been, I'll take a picture of something, and she can grab it out of my hands and go, "Well, this is actually how you do it." And she'll hit the ISO 10,000 times and do all this funky stuff, and she gets a cooler shot than anything I can ever take. So it's very nice to have that support system in my own house.
yeah, yeah. It kind of, it's tough though because that means you got to listen to your wife once in a while.
It's called,
So
well, yeah, but if you're interested in
how
the
do you know
topic,
when to turn that switch on and off?
it's all based on if you're interested or not, or if you've heard it before.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
There's only one where the Viking says it turns my switch on. So anyway, let's get back to Dunefest.
so
Is that
now, sorry to cut you off there, but it's obviously you've seen growth over the last 2 years. I mean, is the excitement up for next year? Did anybody
absolutely?
feel left out that they couldn't be a vendor? I mean,
I get, I get calls because I know a lot of people in the industry. I get calls from people saying, "Hey, do you think my product? Do you think this event is worth doing?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. I think it's one of the only true, I think it's actually the only true West Coast family orientated events." And that's huge because more and more people are having kids or their kids are big enough now. They've got a 4 seat or they're still riding all quads together or whatever. But you see family after family after family out there, which is great because that only promotes the industry, right? It only helps the industry grow. But the other side of it is, if you don't have events targeted towards families, it's not like where are they going to go? You know, if you like literally, they had every day they did, I think, the Forest Service put on two of the child safety rider courses
that's cool.
where they actually trained kids how to ride, how to be safe, and they get their little ATV card or motorcycle card, you know.
Oh, that'd even be cool to take back to school. That starts apparently in 2 weeks again. And hey, check out my license I got this summer.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's free,
That's
right?
even the coolest part.
And they do like they have drags for like 50 cc quads and motorcycles up in the sand drags. They have the what's called last man stand. Nah, it's not called that anymore. Some race, every man challenge, and they have it for kids now. You know,
So what's
there's
that race? Where's that at? What's that
it's
about?
head to head, so they go a loop on each side of the race course, And the guy that hits the finish first wins.
Oh, so it's like an elimination bracket kind of
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. I
So
thought you
I
were gonna say who doesn't break the car over doing. Got
no,
it. It's not a coup de
no.
grace. Okay.
So it's like a head-to-head two cars, but they run them on separate tracks to keep the people who actually think they are Mario Andretti from running into the people who are Mario Andretti. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, and I guess really exciting. I've never got to watch one. Well, I haven't watched one in years, because I'm always working.
Yeah.
But I guess they're really exciting. They even did it for little kids. I mean, I saw several, especially of the vendors, bring their kids race 170s in for this race.
That's so cool. And I don't, not to
Yeah.
get on a tangent here, but in today's Sue Happy society, it's so easy as a promoter to try to avoid racing as a whole. And now that you have different types of racing plus a Huck Fest, and now you're getting kids involved in the racing, whether it be drag racing and everything, I mean, I give all the applause in the world for that because if you're a kid and you can actively participate in something, especially along with your dad or with your family,
Yep.
that's hands down memories for a lifetime, no doubt.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. You got these kids, you got, geez, dude, probably 200 or 300 people standing around watch them run this course. You know, how rad is that? You got at the drags, you got an announcer up there calling their name.
Yeah,
Know, and they're calling their name just as much as they're calling like, Biffa wasn't here this year, but the big G Armstrong,
that's what I was gonna say. You beat me to it.
G laid down some heaters this year, I guess, so I mean, uh, the more the more that happens, the more our chosen industry or the industry that chose us is maybe more likely um, grows and has a much brighter future. It's like doing the arena cross stuff, man. When I do the arena cross stuff, you see 50 kids signed up for the 4 to 6 50cc class. 50, and you're going to take a gate of like 18, double stack them and run a gate of 18. um I've seen as many like in the, what is it, 7 to 10 or 7 to 9.
It's usually a 7 to 9. Yeah,
Yeah, 7 to 9 50 class. I've seen as many as like 85 riders.
that's so cool.
A
That
one
makes
day
me happy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but we're literally, by encouraging that and helping that and assisting that and doing whatever we can to help them continue, we're growing our future in the industry also. you know I mean, I'm not that old. I kind of old, but I'm not that old. I want to be able to do this 20 years from now. you
Absolutely.
and growing a generation, continuing to grow generation after generation, um, that wants to ride or wants to go duning or whatever, just ensures that it's going to continue, right? I should get off my pulpit. You can tell me anytime, dude, chill out. I feel wound up.
No, we're passionate about the topic.
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
also starting to get a little bit of FOMO from not being there.
Next year, you know what? Next year, um, just come as my producer and assistant.
Yeah, and I'll go walk around. I'll bring the microphone. I'll shove
Yeah,
it in people's
you know,
faces, whatever.
I, I I sucked. I know you told me to get some voice recording interviews, and
You were working.
I didn't get one at all. My real job got in the way, It's like, um, but I've got some guys who had said, "Oh man, that'd be rad. Yeah, I'd love to be on it." And so we will have some of those guys um, coming up. Uh, the Going back to that speed car, dude. I I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. but I think it's going to be a pretty good car. And I got to tell you, it's pretty comfortable to sit in.
Okay.
So, we'll see. Um, Supposedly, they're going to start delivering pre-orders Super Show.
See, I'm right in the middle, and I'm just like you. I'm not going to overhype it, and I'm certainly not going to trash talk somebody in the industry. It's just so funny because we've seen this car around since 2019, I want to say. Saw it at the Sandsport Super Show, the first real live models and stuff. And so I would hope for all the people who have deposits and the people who are excited and the people that want to ride this desert season that it does show up. But as I get older, I also get a little bit more realistic, and it's like, okay, we'll see it when we see it.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we will see it. Um, you know, uh, I think it's going to be good. I might even look at one a couple years down the road. You know,
That's more than any testimony I've heard so far
it's
from anybody I know.
dude, even like crazy stuff. I mean, obviously, I had one in the booth the whole, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Had a lot of time to look at it. One, the audio, the Kicker Performance audio, that's the OEM audio package in that car. I I had competitor brand reps coming up to me going, that is by far the best sounding OEM UTV audio I have ever heard.
That's so cool.
And I'm like, well, we did it right, meaning Kicker did it right, of
Right.
course. But yeah, no, they did a good job. And I'm like you. I really do hope. I hope that that you know the face gets slapped with the glove, so to speak. I want to see him duel it out. I want to see him duke it out. I want to see the big car go against the big car, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And hopefully it happens.
See, I'm
So
not on the inside, we'll call it the inside of the industry anymore, which is cool because it leaves a lot of wonderment on my end.
right,
So we just had the Pro R come out, right?
correct,
And so if they can be the next like car out in the market, I think it could be so extremely successful because obviously Can-Am and Honda and everybody and Yamaha, especially, they're not sitting on their hands,
right.
but I haven't heard any whispers of anything. So if they can come to the market before the next whatever comes out, I think it's going to be very special.
The the next whenever is coming.
It's
Let's just say
inevitable.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Next whatever is coming. Um, yeah. So, anyways, but you learn a lot at Doomfest. Um, so yeah, it's dude, what a great event! So much fun, and I'm pretty much wrapped up. I'm gonna take a couple days, and my oldest daughter and my little hyperactive Papa Wheelie's cookie cutter granddaughter are coming down for a couple days. We're gonna screw off a little bit, do a little fun time,
That's
and
awesome.
then yeah, and then I'm on the road north to Castle Rock, Washington for the great revival of the Castle Rock American Flat Track TT, which I'm super excited for. And I really like so far all the riders I've met, I really like, but it's a TT. So like the number 95, I'm gonna be like, dude, you got this. I
It's so
like
funny you
JP.
say that. Right before
He's a
we
rad
started
dude.
recording, I was just watching Peoria
Oh yeah, how
TT
was
with,
it?
I mean, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already, but my number 95
Yep,
brought it home. I
yep,
was yelling
yep.
at the TV and my wife didn't understand why. But
I've I've seen a bunch of I've seen a bunch of the video stuff from it. I have the app, but it turns out you have to have data to watch that stuff live stream. And of course, this week, where were we yesterday? Where were they yesterday? Uh, I could look at my calendar. It doesn't really matter. I couldn't get it yesterday. That's the one thing about Winchester Bay. You can send a text. You may be able to get a phone call and make a phone call. And that's about it. You can't send a text with pictures. You can send a text with emojis, but not with pictures. So, like every night, as you know, you've been through this, right? You come out, you clear the bay, and your phone goes berserk for like 8 minutes.
Yeah, it starts freezing up.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep. Yeah, email after email. I had like 14 emails in 4 miles.
Well, you're also trying to usually go to dinner or something too at that point, and then you have
Sure.
this moral dilemma of do I answer all these texts and emails and my family's missing me, or I'm probably going to dinner with a customer or a friend, so what takes priority? But yeah, that's part of the Winchester Bay experience.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. If you haven't been up here, I highly recommend you get up here and check it out. And we definitely got to get the sand snake up here next year somehow. Yeah, I suppose we're probably hitting time. You've got to get a timer to keep me reeled in, bro.
I know, but I was just having so much fun talking about Dunefest, and now my wheels are turning about going myself. So
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, we're like, oh yeah, we can do this in 35 minutes, and then we get going, and I'm like, dude, how did that go? It's like the Coal 9 Yards Part One. How did that go an hour?
yeah, that got out of my hands pretty fast.
It felt like 25 minutes.
Yep.
I was, I all things being fair, good, and equal, I learned a lot about you that I didn't know, a lot of background. And dude, I was enthralled. I'm just like totally, you probably saw. I was engaged. I'm like, oh, I should ask a question about that. And I'm writing stuff on my notepad, but I'm like, wow, oh, that's rad, yeah, I just thought it was great. I've got some really good positive feedback about that episode. So a lot of my friends say they like our banter. So,
Well, this is just us recording a phone call. You know what I mean? Like it's just
but yeah,
the only difference is now we record it and put it online, so it's
yeah,
natural for us. But yeah, that's good.
I'm not afraid to say anything at any given time. I do like there's obviously a couple things that I got to check up on and make sure I behave a little bit. But yeah, man. Oh yeah. So going back to the freestyle guys, real quick before we wrap, Cody Elkins, longtime kicker athlete, sends me a message. He's like, "Hey, um, I'm coming in Wednesday night. Can you pick me up at the Eugene airport?" And I'm like, I guess so. What time? 11:43. I'm like, you're kidding me, dude. You are killing me. So literally, did I already go through this part?
No,
Oh, so literally, yeah, I worked all day, right? Wednesdays, full day, opening day. The boys at Brad's probably did at least 4 installs. I mean, it was a humping day, and I was working with some media and stuff, trying to get stuff lined out for the freestyle show and all that. Get done. Um, Wednesday, is that Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Had dinner with actually with anyway, had dinner with a couple of people and sat around, jumped in the truck at basically 10 p.m., drove an hour and a half, half an hour up the coast and almost basically an hour inland, pitch black. Dude, they don't have streetlights out here. I don't know if Oregon didn't pay the power bill or what, but these roads are skinny. Like PCH, it's the 101. right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Which way did
So,
you go if you went jammed back to the highway and then up? Because the forest route is actually faster, and that's the way that I've done, where you go
yeah,
up the coast and then in, and it's
yep,
like Mulholland Drive for an hour and a half.
yeah, yeah. It's not near as much fun in a two-wheel drive dually at night when you don't see great, and you have no trailer on the back. Uh, but I got him picked up, got back, I laid down, and I'm like, okay, you know what? And I'm like, okay, well, got him situated for the night. Finally washed up and stuff. When my head hit the pillow, I looked over at the clock. It said 2:37 a.m.
Oh no.
I'm like, well, I'm gonna sleep till 6. Then I'm gonna hit snooze 5 minutes at a time till 6:30, and then I got to get up and get to work, start getting ready for the day. I got another big day. So of course, that night was the night my body decided you don't really need sleep. So I woke up once to use the facilities, went back to sleep. And when I woke up for good for the day, I woke up, I was laying there. I'm like, not going back to sleep. Looked over, 5:47. So,
That's an evil time warp.
right. And then it was Thursday, and Thursday they do the sponsor appreciation dinner that, like, it starts at 7 and goes till I left at 9:30 or so, you know, because it was at a really cool place but it was outside.
Yeah.
It was cold. My legs, I was wearing shorts and two coats. I brought coats this year though, at least. So, but I was starting to get cold. I'm like, I got to go. Uh, Plus I was, 2.5 hours sleep. I'm not good at math, whatever that is. 237 to 547.
It's definitely a number. So
Yeah, and small number. Um, but yeah, anyways, that was awesome. Though I was really, you know, he was very gracious for the fact that I picked him up, and I'm like, wouldn't have it any other way, man. Factory support, factory rider right there.
every time you hit the ramp, did you say you're welcome? You're welcome.
Yeah, 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 for sure. So, anyways, we're way out on time, aren't
Yep. So
we?
let's thank our partners here.
Special thank you, Kicker Performance Audio. Um, Man, I got my quart of Kush doing work here. Cole's wearing the buds, I believe. Uh, and man, the products they have, check them out, kicker.com. Get the premium audio from just an amazing bunch of people. Quality of the product is unmatchable. Durability, whatever you need, off road, on road, car, pickup. You just want to add a subwoofer, or you want to put a $50,000 system in your car. They got you covered for sure, and they're great people on top of it. Really grateful to have them supporting us. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you. Having them supporting us and supporting me in my day job. So, and of course, Bomber Floating Eyewear, Tommy the Bomber, man, he's the Levi's of sunglasses. Everybody should own at least 5 pairs. I know I do. Man, durable. Get them in the safety lens. The pair I wore out here all week. I'm still wearing that limited edition series. Oh yeah, we're never mind. I was showing Cole, so you guys know. Um I was showing him because we're on video and maybe someday you'll see it on YouTube. But I'm actually relatively stupid because this is a podcast, not a vlog or video cast. So nonetheless, Bomber Floating Hour, great supporters of us, great guys. Thank you, Tommy. And of course, as always, the unbelievably talented Cole Trickle Dickle Farrell, my producer and co-host, the man. Um, Dude, I'm so thankful for you. I really did miss you. I wish you'd have been here this week. We'd have tore it up.
We would have had fun because you would have been working 12 hours, 14 hours a day or whatever. I would have found ruckus in the meantime. And then afterwards, we would have had our own rumpus time. So
Yeah, yeah,
2023, it's coming in
sure.
hot. We're coming in with fury. But yeah, I
Yeah,
missed you too, man. And especially even hearing all these stories. I'm like, I guess that's the point of this podcast, right? Is to tell the stories. But I'm like,
yeah,
dang, I
for
wish I
sure.
was there. And I even see this Motel 6 that I've stayed at here, or the Best Western, I should say, right here. I'm like, I miss these walls.
You've stayed here, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the first place I
Yeah.
ever stayed.
Yeah, and then didn't you stay at like the Winchester Bay Inn?
1 year, and then 1 year we stayed in a haunted house. So we kind of been all
Oh
over the
yeah,
map.
okay. So I Robbie owns the Winchester Bay Inn, and he's got a really cool little place right in the top second floor, top front corner that faces the bay. That's got big windows on both sides, and it's a little two-bedroom, micro kitchen, dining room, and he takes good care of me. So shout out to Robbie at Winchester Bay and hooking me up there when I stay with the kids
That's cool.
because I don't want a hyperactive 2.5-year-old jumping on my head at 5:30 in the morning. So now it's possible that could happen anyway. She can open doors now, so if she
Yeah.
can, she can move something in front of it and open it. So anyway, we need to wrap. I've gone way long again. I get carried away. I'm sorry, Cole.
No, don't apologize to me. I'm having fun.
We have we have there's so many people I talk to at Doomfest about what we're doing. And I'm like, man, I sure like to have you on there. And so far nobody has said you're out of your fucking mind. So
Not yet.
or
It's
no.
gonna happen, but not yet. So that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, so we gotta get through the Coal 9 Yards Part 2 before we have guests. Um, so, but all that being said, folks, thank you for coming along for the ride. Please subscribe, download, give us a like. What else they got to do?
Uh, that's it. Follow you on Instagram, Mad Dog Media.
Oh, Mad Dog underscore media, correct? Premix podcast at Premix podcast. Yeah, for sure. And at some point, we're going to get the feed also over onto YouTube, and then also onto MAddOG'SGarage.com, all one word, MADDOGS garage.com, our website. So yeah, dude, well, we're gonna be like already we're worldwide, so
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, that was pretty expected, but yeah.
rather anybody's listening worldwide, we are broadcast worldwide.
And I think that's a great place to end this episode.
Amen. Hey, thank everybody for coming along. Cole, have a great night. Thank you for your time. I appreciate and love you, brother. Talk to you in 30 seconds.
Love you, bro. Talk to you later. See ya.
Mad Dog out.